To episode 47 of the Valley Sports Talk podcast. Today I am joined once again by Brandon. Brandon, how are you today?
I'm amazing. There's a lot of noise going on in my house, so we'll see how that goes throughout the
I can't hear
podcast.
it.
But
I
I'm
can't
good.
hear it, so you're doing all right.
Jake and his friend Jake and Porter are screaming.
Okay, I heard it there.
That'll
Not
happen.
sure if not sure if people who are listening can hear it, but I definitely heard that. Once again, it's just me and Brandon on the podcast today. Today we decided to sort of flip the script. We are actually going to be talking about some NFL. We haven't talked about NFL in a while, probably since the season ended. But OTA, optional training activities, are just starting up in the NFL. So we figured why not go over our top 10 power rankings and our top 10 quarterbacks. Also, we were hoping that more that Braden and Max could join us today, but unfortunately they can't again. So I have a trivia just for Brandon, kind of like what we did last week with the hockey. It is a NFL based trivia. We'll be able to see how he can do on that.
I'm
Um, but,
nervous.
but first, before we get into the NFL talk, we do have a bit of NHL talk. Just we want to sort of keep in on the sports that are sort of happening right now as the semifinals or quarterfinals are no semifinals, sorry, are starting to get near the end as we were to talk about the Lightning actually swept the Panthers. The Lightning, of course, go on to their third straight Eastern Conference final, and the Panthers are sent back to the drawing boards on the golf course. Brandon, what are your thoughts on that?
It's actually unbelievable. Like this Lightning team is. I think we gotta, even if they don't win the cup this year, like I think we gotta call them a dynasty. Like this Florida team, they won the President's Trophy for a reason. They're a very good hockey team, and the Panthers had 3 goals all series long. Like that's ridiculous. This Lightning team is blocking shots, playing defensive hockey, looking like they haven't won a Stanley Cup. Like they're playing like they haven't won one and they want to win one. But in reality, they've won 2 straight. It's crazy the play they're doing. And I mean, I guess we should expect it's Tampa Bay, but like Florida's a good team and they made them look terrible.
Yeah, it was capped off by a big 45 save. I believe it was a shutout, right, in game
Yeah,
four. Yeah,
yeah.
a 45 save shutout by Vasi. And not even to throw shade at Bobrovsky. I thought he played great that game. You know, both goal, even though he didn't see as much rubber as Vasilevskiy did, I thought he gave Florida a chance. But just Florida could not solve Vasilevskiy. So that leads me into my next question. Is Vasilevskiy trending towards becoming potentially the best goalie of all time?
I mean, I can't see how you would disagree with that. Like, if he gets there or not, who knows? But his play the last 5 years, 6 years, like you can't say no. He's been the best goalie in the league the last 5 years, and like somehow his play elevates in when the playoffs. So like the best goalie turns into an even better goalie when playoff time comes around. He's definitely in that
Yeah,
category.
he's he's definitely trending up there. Obviously, right now you'd probably have like Dominic Hasek as number one. Maybe you can throw Carey Price. You know, you got other guys in there, but he's definitely solidified himself. He's only 27 too. That's the crazy part. Like he's still got so many more years left as long as he can stay healthy in this league. And we're already talking about him becoming probably the best goalie, possibly the best goalie of all time. Like that's how nuts it is.
He's a monster, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's insane. So now that Florida, after they made a bunch of big moves, you know, they gave up their first round pick this year to get Ben Shaw and their first round pick next year to get Claude Giroux. Where do they go from here?
That's such a good question because my Wi-Fi is being terrible. I can't even load up Cat Friendly. I don't know. I don't know who the big free agents are. Oh, it's loading now. Okay, so let's look.
It was Giroux and
Um,
Sherrod are both free agents.
Giroux. That's their only forward who's a free agent this year. That means anything really. You got
I mean,
Nolan
Joe Thornton,
Acciari.
he'll probably retire but he didn't play until
I
game
would
4.
assume he'll retire.
I don't
And
see
I
why he
guess
wouldn't.
Mason March.
Yeah,
They
I think
actually
I'd say he's gone. I think Marchman would be gone.
probably. I think Claude Giroux will be gone too. It kind of sounded like when he signed this deal that he kind of wanted to go for a cup run and then go back to Philly. So we'll see how that goes. Um, but everybody is signed basically. That mean like their top 4 defensemen are signed. Their top like except for Roger, their top 9 forwards are signed. So I think you just kind of like you have a really good team. I think you just run it back as like I know that getting swept by Tampa and losing to Tampa in the playoffs 2 years in a row is tough. I mean, you won the President's Trophy for a reason. Most of your big guys are still on contract, so you think you just run it back.
Yeah, they're definitely a good team. They won the President's Trophy for a reason. Huberto had a career year, Barkov, even though they're both quiet in the playoffs. My one concern is the fact that Spencer Knight's going to have to sit behind Bobrovsky again. Like, you drafted this guy in the first round for a reason, and then you went and gave a 30-year-old a 7-year, $10 million contract. Like, that contract is getting to be bad. Like, I know he played well in the playoffs, but Spencer Knight's 22, 23. You got to find a way to start to get him in the net for 40 games this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at it right now. Currently, Bobrovsky's 33 and has 4 more years at 10 mil. And Spencer Knight is 21 on the
That's
last
more.
deal on the last year of his contract. So
It was such a weird signing whenever they literally drafted him that year. I don't know.
yeah,
I didn't like it, and I still don't like it, even though he has played pretty good for most of it.
like if you're gonna draft a goalie in the first round, obviously you think he's gonna be really good. So why are you signing a goalie to a 7 year, $10 million contract?
Yeah,
But
it
hey,
doesn't make much sense. Moving
I
on.
think
So as of what? Sorry, what'd you say?
go ahead, go ahead.
Um, as of right now, the Avalanche are up 3-2 as the Blues came back last night and won in overtime, and the Battle of Alberta is tonight on the day we're recording, just Thursday, May 26th. Edmonton's up 3-1. So as of right now, we are most likely going to see McKinnon versus McDavid in the Western Conference Finals. What is this? How do you anticipate this matchup?
Man, this if them two if that's the conference finals, Avalanche Oilers, like that might be one of the most viewed series of all time. Like people are gonna be watching this, and I don't think just like the kind of Oilers Flame series, there's gonna be a lot of goals in that one, and it's just gonna be high flying, fast pace. It's gonna be fun to watch if that happens. I kind of for my hockey pool, it'd be bad if actually both those teams win. It'd be bad for me, but I kind of want to see it just for the like spectator purpose. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be bad for me too because I have 6 St. Louis in one of the pools I'm in. But those are like two, like you're talking McDavid, McKinnon. We're not even bringing like Drysdale, Miko, or Kadri into the mix. It's just like McDavid, McKinnon, two top 5 players, two of the most explosive players, two of the fastest players when they have the puck. Like, they both have put on shows so far this playoff, and they both have highlight goals. I don't know which goalie. Like, I know we don't really trust Mike Smith, even though he's kind of improving us otherwise. But like, this is gonna be that would be a hard series for the goalies, having two like offensive firing teams, and like, like, I feel like it would be such a high scoring series. Like, I know we've been saying that for a couple series and they haven't been, but this just seems like it would be destined to go 7 games. Maybe not 7 games, but maybe over, like, if you're like, I don't want to bring this into betting, but if you're taking betting, I'm taking over 6.5 every game.
Oh, 100%. I don't even.
And I'm not
I
even
would love
thinking
to see
twice about it.
over under. I feel like the over under might just. They might even put it at like 7.5 just for
Eight,
this
eight and a
series.
half.
Jeez,
Yeah, that'll
I
just
can
be
see it.
two of the most like explosive players in the whole league going at it.
It would be like the complete opposite of like what the definition of playoff hockey would be like if these teams play. Like when you think of playoff hockey, you think of like 3-2, 2-1. This is going to be like 7-6. Like it's
Eight,
crazy.
7. Yeah, yeah. It'll be up there. Goalie's worst nightmare. Speaking of the other two teams, as I mentioned, both of them are down. We're down at 1.31. Can either of these teams come back? Being St. Louis or Calgary?
Honestly, I honestly think both can. Like I know Calgary hasn't played well against Edmonton, but that's because I feel like Calgary's been playing Edmonton's game, sort of fast pace, like high scoring. Where when Calgary played its game against Dallas, I know it went 7, but that was more Calgary's play style, and they came out on that one. I feel like if Calgary starts to play its own game, their own game, and not like play the Edmonton Oilers game, I think they definitely can come back from that one. And then St. Louis, I mean, that game last night, I
That
actually
was that
watched
was
it. It
one of
was
the better
ridiculous.
games of
Like
the year
we
so
were,
far.
oh yeah, we were just talking about how good Colorado is and Nathan McKinnon in particular. So I'm gonna go the opposite way. Like if you're Colorado and you haven't made it past the second round in 3 straight seasons, you're up 3-1. You're in your own building. You're winning the game 3-0. You got to win that game. And then to make it even worse, St. Louis ties it up. And then Nathan McKinnon through the entire team and scores like a goal of the year candidate with 2 minutes left to put yourself up by 1, and you
Yeah,
still
that was
lose that
nasty.
game. Like, you got to win Colorado.
Yeah, no, definitely. If we're talking about teams that are likely, I think, in my opinion, I think that if any team will do it, it will be St. Louis. Like I said at the start of the series, that I think if any team would beat St. Louis, it would be, or beat Colorado, it would be St. Louis. Um, in my opinion, first of all, Jacob Markstrom has been terrible.
He's been
Like
brutal. I would
he's been
try the
awful.
backup for tonight's game. I honestly
Danny
would.
Vladar.
I would. I'd throw him in. Can't be
Um,
worse.
my one concern, other than Jacob Markstrom being absolute Swiss cheese so far, is I don't think that Calgary's defense is quick enough to play with McDavid. Like just thinking of like three players right now, like Chris Tanev, Eric Gabranson, and Nikita Zadorov. They are not fast players, and they have been exposed in this series so far. Like McDavid and even the Oilers team as a whole, they're just easily flying by these three defensemen, and it's creating a lot of odd man rushes, which is one of the reasons why Markstrom's been so bad because he's been having to slide across and have to make a save that he usually wouldn't have to make because this Calgary defense has actually been pretty decent all year. But these three players in particular are just slow and get burnt like a lot. I don't know what really Calgary was thinking of if they were going to be quick enough to think, but they are not quick enough to keep up with McDavid.
No, and you're not wrong there. And the problem is too, like just from watching, I mean, obviously it's pretty late our time, so I haven't been watching entire games. But from what I've been watching, Calgary's taken way too many penalties. Like I
Yes,
think
I
a
have noticed
five
that as
on
well.
five game, like 5-on-5 game, yeah. Like you've been saying, their defensemen are slow, but 5-on-5, I think Calgary has the better team. But when you take all these penalties and let these guys heat up and stuff like that, like McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman now, like Nuge, they're just heating up because you keep giving them opportunities on a power play.
We can also say
And I
how good
definitely
Evander Kane's been.
he's been amazing. It's
He's
been
been
but I mean,
amazing.
it's weird. I'm not trying to take any credit away from him, but the passes he's getting from Connor McDavid are just I feel
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
could score the goals
He's
he's
always been a
scoring.
good player. Just cancer in the locker room.
Yeah, he's got the chance of a
Um,
lifetime.
Another game tonight that is actually currently tied 2-2 is the Rangers Hurricanes. Each team has won two at home. I had Canes in five, so that's obviously out the window now. But have the Hurricanes or have the Rangers sort of been able to figure out the Carolina Hurricanes?
I'm not convinced yet. If they win tonight, I will say yes, but I mean, we had the same conversation last series, when
they
the
played
Canes were
Pittsburgh.
up 2-0 on Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Boston came back. Just Carolina hasn't won a game on the road this year, in the playoffs. So I
Yeah, because the
mean,
Boston one, every home team won.
yeah, so Carolina is undefeated at home and they haven't won away. So that's why I'm saying if the Rangers can win tonight in Carolina, then I think you can say the Rangers have figured them out. But until then, I think it's just a Carolina problem of not being able to win a road game.
Yeah. I don't really. I agree. I think the Rangers are not as good as they've sort of been playing. I think it's all basically Shesterkin and not being able to sort of get it past them, and then playing such a boring defensive clog up the middle game. I can't say that they figured them out. I think the Canes just haven't been really playing as good as they have been, or as good as they can play. That leads me into my next one. If the Rangers do get past the Canes in this series, will Shesterkin be enough to get through the Lightning?
I'm gonna say no, just because of the goalie on the other side. Like, yeah, you can be playing as the second best goalie in the world, but hey, you're playing against the best. So it's if them two teams play, it could be a very like if we're talking about conference finals like McKinnon, McDavid, if it's Rangers Tampa, you could see the complete opposite. Like it could be like 3-1,
1-0,
2,
1,
1-0. Yeah.
2-1. Yeah,
Like
just
you
two
have the
probably,
two
probably, arguably, since he only had really had one season, the two best goalies in the league going at it.
it definitely is. It's probably the number 1 and 2 guy in voting for the Vezina
Yeah, for sure.
going against each other.
Um, in my opinion, I don't. I've said this for every series. I even said about Pittsburgh, and I still hold it to it that Pittsburgh deserved to win that series over the Rangers. I think don't think Shesterkin can carry them. I don't think Shesterkin can carry them all the way. I think he's going to give out at some point.
Well,
Not
yeah,
give
so
out,
like
but I think they're going to sort of like get past them. Like Pittsburgh chased them out of two games, and they still didn't win that series. And he's sort of the Canes are sort of giving him his confidence, and then all of a sudden, if they do get past the Canes, they got to run into Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos. Braden Point will probably be healthy by then. It's pretty nutty.
yeah, I honestly think Tampa Bay is gonna go three-peat.
Yeah, it's looking like that. Like we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves because it's only second round. But imagine a Colorado Tampa finals.
That would be so much. It's destined though. It's gotta happen at some
It's
point.
gonna happen. I have a feeling it's gonna happen. But I think that'll sort of wrap it up for the NHL talk, and we'll sort of get on to the NFL. Hello,
Yes, sir.
what's up?
So
Um, no, I was talking to my dad.
I know.
Um, Moving along, we decided to talk about the NFL as I know it started. The OTAs have started up, and some players are starting to report to training camp. So I decided that we would make a list of our top 10 teams going into the NFL season this year. Do you want to do all 10 at once, or do you want to go 10 and 10 and
What do you
etc.?
think, Mister?
I think if we go like like just give like one reason why. I think we can go 10. Like, you say 10, I say 10, I
Sounds
just give a
good.
quick reason.
Okay. Well, so my 10 is the Baltimore Ravens. The first half of the season, they were first in their division. They got hurt, and that kind of ended their season. So I think they're obviously healthy again. J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, they're going to be good.
My 10 is actually the Dallas Cowboys. I think
Yeah,
Zeke will be back to his form. I know we said that. I think their defense got better, and I think that Dak and CD will take that next step with Amari Cooper being gone.
do you know? My 9 is my Green Bay Packers. Their defense is probably the best it's been since Aaron Rodgers has been a Packer. And yes, you lose Devontae Adams, but Aaron Rodgers' his whole career have made average wide receivers look pretty good. So I feel like he'll find maybe it maybe it turns into Sammy Watkins, who knows? But he's gonna find some chemistry with one of these guys and make them look a lot better than they are. And their division's terrible.
My 9 is also Green Bay. I think
There
with
you go.
Devontae Adams, you have them closer to 5. But I think that piece will be the reason that they drop, and I don't think it will happen, but I would not be surprised to see Minnesota finish first in that division.
I could see it too. We'll see. My 8 is San Fran. I mean, they keep beating the Packers in the playoffs, so I really hate them, and I keep like undermining them and not giving them enough credit. So I will this year. They're bringing back pretty much the same team. The only thing that's not decided is their quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. But they're still
I've
a really good
been
football team.
hearing rumblings that they are satisfied with keeping Jimmy as the starter.
It's just so confusing. Like, why draft Trey?
I think it's because they're just not getting like the trade offers they want for Jimmy, or they think that he is something
I
like
mean, he's
that.
brought them to like the conference championship a couple times now. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. My number 8 is the Cleveland Browns, and the one word I'll just use 2 words, and it's Deshaun Watson.
yeah,
Um, that I mean, when healthy, he's a top 10 quarterback, 5 whenever he's playing. We'll talk about him in a minute, possibly if you have him on your top 10.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
when
didn't
you go
have him
from
in my top 10 just because he hasn't. I mean, he's
that's
amazing,
fair,
like you
that's
said.
fair.
But
Um,
haven't played, and you don't know
but
how many games he's gonna
going from
miss.
Baker to Deshaun gets you into the top 10.
Oh yeah, if he, yeah, I just don't know how many games he's gonna play. What are we at? 7?
7.
I got the Super Bowl finalists, Cincinnati Bengals, um, bringing back basically the same team, but with an
Off,
improved O
couple
line.
offensive
That's
lines.
basically all I gotta say.
My 7 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bringing back or unretiring Tom Brady. Sort of if without Tom Brady, I don't know if this team would even have been in my top 10 because they would have had a lot of question marks at quarterback. But being Tom Brady, even at 45, he probably will still carry this team to being a Super Bowl contender. I'm just kind of scared the fact that he considered retirement. Maybe he feels like he's sort of slowing down. And will we finally see that regression at age 45 or not? Is the reason why I'm sort of have him a bit staggered, a bit high on the list.
My number 6 is the Kansas City Chiefs. You still got Mahomes, you still got Kelsey. So they're going to be good. And then you replace Tyreek Hill with Juju, who's definitely got potential. He was, and then Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Watching him play on the Packers, all he is a deep threat, and Mahomes can hit him, so they'll still be good.
You're also missing, I know you don't keep up with like prospects, but they did draft a
Sky
really
Moore,
nice receiver. Yeah, Sky Moore.
gotcha.
Um, he's a polarizing prospect, and he should be good. My number 6 is Cincinnati. I just think the teams ahead. I just think that they didn't do enough more than other teams to get better, which is why I sort of have them chilling around 6 in the power rankings. Not that, and it's really hard to get back to a Super Bowl. Like some people only get there once in their whole life, so it'll be interesting to see. But I think that a couple teams in their division possibly got better than them.
Yeah, and speaking with other teams in their division, at 5, I have the Chargers. Um, they have
Chargers
an
aren't in their division.
electrifying. What's that?
The Chargers aren't in their division.
Oh, I was talking about the Chiefs. Sorry,
Oh, okay, okay, I got you now.
because my last one was the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, I got it
um,
now. I thought you were relating to mine.
no, obviously we know the Chargers' offense is like electric. That wasn't the problem. Defense was, and they had a Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson.
Oh,
So um,
it's a beautiful defense.
it's a beautiful defense matched with a beautiful offense.
True. My number, we're at 5, right?
Yeah.
My number 5 is a team in their division. That's crazy. I have 3 teams in this division in my top 5. Um,
So yeah.
mine is Denver. I have Denver at 5. This team was sort of missing that one quarterback, and they got that in the form of former Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson. My only concern with Russell Wilson is can he stay healthy for a season?
My number 4 is Denver for the exact same reason. You had Russell Wilson to a team with a really good offense and a really good defense.
My number 4 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, you lost a top, probably, in my opinion, 3 receiver in the league in Tyreek Hill. But like Brand said, you replaced Juju, who had great years with Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback. So you give him Patrick Mahomes, it'll be really interesting to see what he does. Like Beal said, they basically got a sort of IKEA version of Tyreek Hill, or like if you're like a Wendy's version, if you're talking restaurants, like a lower end tier
Yeah,
Tyreek
yeah,
Hill,
I
and
know.
and you got what I'm trying to get at, and
Yeah.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and like I said, I'm really like the Sky Moore draft choice. Obviously, you did lose the Honey Badger Tyrann Matthew, but you did bring trade. I think they either traded for or signed for Justin Reed, the safety from the Texans, who was actually very underrated in my opinion since he played on the Texans. Um, and the one thing I'm missing, you have Patrick Mahomes. Like if you have Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be contending. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Um, my number 3 is the Super Bowl champion LA Rams. They lost big pieces in Robert Woods, probably going to lose Odell and Von Miller. They added Bobby Wagner and Allen Robinson to try and fill that, but so I think they're going to take a little drop. I don't think you can put them as number 1, but they added some nice pieces to try and offset those losses.
My number 3 is the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm very high on them. I was last year, and I think they got even better. You already named all their defensive additions, and then their offense. You got budding star Justin Herbert. You got top 5, 7 running back Austin Eckler, who can do it all. Then you got top 10 receiver Keenan Allen. Hunter Henry when he's no, he's not there anymore. I don't even know who their tight end is.
It's a good
Is it Jared
question.
Cook?
It might still be. It
Is
was
it
last.
35-year-old Jared Cook? Anyways, that offense, they got a great O-line too. That offense and defense are stacked to make a run this year.
I have this team a lot higher than you. At number 2, I have the Bucks. They were a touchdown away from beating the team that ended up winning the Super Bowl, and that was without without several players due to injuries. So they're back. They're healthy. Tom Brady's back, obviously, which brings them back up there. So I don't see why they won't be another threat this year.
My number 2 is the former Super Bowl champion, um, LA Rams, which means me and you, I'm assuming we both have the
I
same
hope
number 1.
I
Um,
hope so.
uh, I actually think the addition of Allen Robinson will go under the radar because 2 years ago with stable quarterback play, he was an arguable top 10 receiver. And then last year with unstable quarterback play, he was not very good. So I think going from unstable quarterback play to Matthew Stafford will sort of boost him back up. And you still have Cooper freaking Cup. Need I say less? And then obviously we talked about the defensive loss of Von Miller, but then you replace it with probably the best linebacker of the 20th century or of the 2000s. Why did I say 20th century? Of the 2010 era of Bobby Wagner, who still has some left in the tank. Um, you put him out there with Aaron Donald, and things will get scary. Um, but yeah, I agree that they took kind of small step back. So I can't put them at 1. Go
Yeah,
ahead and take
and
it away for mine and your number 1. Go ahead and take it
yeah,
away.
I don't want to steal all your thunder because we have the same team. So I'll talk a little bit so you can say a little bit as well. Um, we both have the Buffalo Bills at number 1. They're a coin flip away from making to the conference finals and probably the Super Bowl. And you add Von Miller and 1 year of experience.
Yeah, agreed. Evan Menard will like us for this. We'll have to send this to him.
How could you
Um,
not?
I mean, you have a top 3 quarterback, 5 maybe, if you're being sort of rude,
We'll
in
find
Josh
out.
Allen. He's
I
he's
guess we'll
he's
find
great. You got Stephon Diggs. You got Devin Singletary who played well. They just drafted a rookie. I think I forget his name. Oh, it's Dalvin Cook's brother. They drafted James Cook out of
Yep.
Georgia. He actually looks to be pretty decent. And then that defense, you got Gregory Rousseau, their first round pick from last year, across the way of Von Miller. Like you got Tremaine Edmonds, you got Matt Milano, you got I'm forgetting Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Like these two teams are stacked. And they like Brandon said, they're a coin flip away from the conference finals.
And yeah, honestly, I think if they get to the conference finals last year, they beat the Bengals too.
I
So
agree. I agree.
you never know. You never know.
So moving on, I believe the only teams I don't think you didn't have Cleveland or Dallas, and I didn't have Baltimore or um,
San Fran?
San Fran. So those are
Yeah.
only two teams that we didn't have, and then they were just in different orders. This is the one where we might have a bit of differences. I don't think maybe not near the top end, but near the bottom end of it. We'll have a bit of differences. We're going to go through our top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2022 NFL season.
Yeah, so I think I remember a couple podcasts ago you said you have your dad as a friend or something who watches our podcast who's a big Cleveland fan, and he says we disrespect them. This is going to continue with the disrespect. I guess at 10 I have Deshaun Watson all the way down here. I feel like if we do these two lists again in like week 6, Deshaun Watson could be way up there, and in the power rankings, the Browns could be way up there. It's just we don't know. We still don't know how many games Deshaun Watson's going to miss to start the season, and he still hasn't played football in
Year and a
technically
half,
like 2
2
years.
years.
So I think he's top 5 potential, but I got to see it first. So I'm gonna have Deshaun at 10.
My number 10 is the just crowned Super Bowl winner, Matthew Stafford. Um, he's been sort of just around the 15 to 10 range his whole career, and I think finally winning that Super Bowl and proving that he wasn't just a decent quarterback on a crappy Lions team, that he can be a top 10 quarterback. So I think he slots in right around the 10 range.
Yeah, I have Matthew Stafford at my 9.
Perfect.
For the same reason you said, like he played on a crappy Lions team and he showed that he's actually a good quarterback. And basically, that was technically his second time in the playoffs, but his first time with a true contender, he took them
No,
all
I
away.
think that was his third time. I think he made it twice
Was
with
it?
the Lions.
I know he made it with the Lions. I didn't know if it was
I
once or
think he made it
twice.
twice with the Lions.
Okay. First
My
time when
number
I wrote
nine. My number 9 is the guy you had number 10. So me and you just kind of interchanged 9 and 10. It
that's
is
fair.
Deshaun Watson. Um, I'm gonna literally just copycat what you said. He like the year after he last played, I probably had him around the 5 range. But
Yeah.
just these 2 years off, we don't know what we're gonna get from him. So I kind of had to play it safe and have him at 9.
I almost guarantee if we do this halfway through, he's way up there, but
We will. We'll go back. We'll go back to it at week. How many weeks they play? Like 16 weeks now.
there's 9 18 weeks because you play 17 games with a bye.
Okay, week 9. We'll come back to these
That's fun. Yeah,
and
I like
redo them.
that. I like that.
Go ahead with
Um,
your 8.
at 8, I have Dak Prescott. Um, he's got one of the best offenses in the league. Like Noah said, I don't know if I'm as on board as this, but he thinks Zeke will have a big year. And if he does, that's going to be big in part to Dak. CD Lamb's obviously a beast. Losing Amari Cooper is a little bit of a hit, but Dak himself is one of the best in the game.
My number 8 is the former MVP, Lamar Jackson. I think he's sort of getting to the underrated mark just because the Ravens, just because he's sort of everybody's sort of gotten okay. He can run, he just read options, but I think he's a bit more than that. I think his passing game has gotten sort of flown under the radar, and that I think he's a fine above average passer. Um, he's obviously the narrative has always since they've been in the league, it's been Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. But I think that it's completely like done. I don't think we can really have that narrative, even though Josh Allen has never won an MVP and Lamar Jackson has. I think just the sheer fact of your team winning puts Josh Allen over Lamar.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. At number 7, I have Lamar Jackson. like you said, he's very underrated passer. Everybody knows he can run, but still he gets 100 yards a game, even though people know it's coming. Um, he is sort of, for someone who was the youngest quarterback to ever win MVP. It's kind of weird that we're saying he's kind of becoming to be underrated. He's
You
number
know,
seven.
it's pretty silly. Um, my number 7 is the new quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson. He would probably going into last year, like Deshaun Watson, I probably had him in the top 5, but just him being injured last year sort of bumped him out of the top 5 for me.
Uh, Number 6, I have Joey B.
Joey B.
They're they're bringing back pretty much the same offense, and that's just going to be one more year for them to to grow chemistry. So, and he's got a little bit of swagger to him. So, Joey B, number 6.
Joe Burr is also my number 6 quarterback. I said we're gonna have I said we're gonna have different lists, and we're pretty much the same so far, just
Well,
interchanging
if
again.
I can spoil something, which might be a big spoil, actually, I don't have Russell Wilson
In your top
in my
10,
list.
really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so disagreements there.
Um, my number 6 is also Joe Burrow. You know, this might be spoiling my number 5, but I feel really happy that both of my fantasy quarterbacks are in the top 6 of my rankings. It
I'm
makes
not
me
going to
feel
spoil
warm.
anything, but our
It
lists
makes
are
me
pretty similar.
it makes me feel warm inside. Um, but Joe Burrow is at 6. Obviously, he just led his Bengals from the first time making the playoffs in, I think, good 8 years, probably more,
It's been a
to
while.
the Super Bowl. And this is maybe not a hot take, but if I had to like put a hot take out there, I could say that I have a feeling that Joe Burrow might be the 2022 NFL MVP.
You could see it.
I just feel like he's hungry after losing the championship, man. Like he's gonna be hungrier than ever.
Yeah, you could
And he's
see
got
it for sure.
a great receiving core, tight end, and running back to do it. So like I think it can be done. It's a hot take. It might not even be a hot take, but
That's not.
it's hottish. It's a warm take.
It's definitely a warm take when you got a bunch of quarterbacks that we're about to name.
Yep. Go ahead as your
But I
5.
can definitely see it. So I already know who Noah's 5 is. You guys probably don't know who Noah's fantasy quarterbacks are, but I do, and we're going to agree. Number 5, I have Justin Herbert. In a
Just
podcast
in
a couple
case
months.
you're slow, I have Herbert and Burrow as my dynasty quarterback.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
I don't know how you
refreshing.
guys let me get that.
Uh, I don't think any of us kind of predicted this Joe Burrow. I mean, we all thought he was going to be good, but he really excelled. Anyways, Justin Herbert, we had a podcast. I think it was division round where we were like, who do we like better, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert? I'm pretty sure you and me both said Herbert, and Max and Braden said Burrow, and I'm
Yeah, they
sticking to
did.
it. I
I'm
still like
sticking.
Joe. I still like Justin Herbert better than Joe Burrow. I just feel like he's got more athleticism, he's flashy, and I don't know what to say. This offense is just as good as the Bengals. So Justin Herbert, number 5.
Yeah, you sort of touched it up. Like this is another guy who I could easily see winning the MVP this year. Um, he's got a cannon of an arm, man. Like it's just another year of growth for him, and I think that he's just going to keep getting even better. You sort of said most of the things I was going to say, so I'll just stick to that.
Number 4, I have the GOAT, Tom Brady.
This is stupid. Why did we do this? My 4
Yeah,
is also Tom Brady.
well, we're just smart. We're smart people. What can we say? Um, he's got Evans. He's got Godwin still. He's got underrated probably Russell Gage, who could actually have a.
Oh, I love the kid.
He's no. I'm wrong. Am I?
No, you're right. He's there. He
I'm right.
signed there.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I didn't want to screw it up. Yeah,
Yep.
and I think that's kind of underrated. I mean, Noah can speak about it a little more. He watched every game of his, so I'll let Noah talk about that. But Tom Brady's still got weapons and he's still really good. So Number 4.
Yeah, I like last year for most of the season since Calvin Ridley was out gambling. Russell Gage was our number one next to Kyle Pitts, and he's always sort of been an underrated receiver in my opinion. And it kind of I didn't even know he was a free agent this year, to be honest with you. So whenever I saw him that he signed with Tampa Bay, it kind of like bummed me out a bit. But then again, he's going to a division rival, which makes me kind of pissed. So screw him, kind of, you know. No, I'm kidding. I respect it for him. First of all, he got paid. He got close to 10 million a year, I think, which for him is great. And he's going to a potential Super Bowl winning. So you might see me rocking some Bucks in the playoffs if they get there, just because I want some former Falcons to win um, some games. But yeah, Tom Brady, GOAT for a reason, ageless wonder, number 4.
Yep.
Next,
Let's see if we agree here. Number 3, I got Patty.
nope, we disagree.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you have A-Rod? Let's find out, I guess.
I do have A-Rod at 3.
Um, God, I'm gonna be called a homer. At number
You have no
3,
one. I already know you do.
I have Patty Mahomes. He lost his biggest target, but you still got Kelsey. He can move. He's got a bullet of an arm, just like Herbert. Um, and kind of like I was saying about Aaron Rodgers earlier, he can make any wide receiver look really good. So I think Juju and Valdez-Scantling will have very good years in Kansas City, along with Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, so for my number 3, I have the back-to-back MVP, which is probably kind of disrespectful in my opinion, or in my case, to put A-Rod at 3. I just think these other two quarterbacks are polarizing and a bit better. Um,
My
Not
computer's
much.
at 5. Sorry.
No worries. I'll sort of leave most of the A-Rod stuff for you to say because he is your favorite team's quarterback. So yeah, A-Rod's my 3rd.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna let me talk about Aaron Rodgers, I will let you talk about Josh Allen. So to spoil it for everybody, I have Josh at 2, Aaron at 1, Noah has Patty at.
Josh at Josh at 2, Patty at 1. So
Okay, so we both have Josh at 2. I'll let you talk
yep.
about Josh, and then I'll talk about
Um,
Aaron.
Josh Allen probably, arguably, with Patrick Mahomes, has the biggest cannon in the league. He's just sort of after his rookie year, people were sort of doubting him that he couldn't carry an offense. He just sort of kept getting better and better and better, and it doesn't seem like he's slowing down. He got paid, which he deserved. Um, I don't know. There's not much else to say about him. Like he's just a mean gunslinging quarterback that just gets the job, and he can run. He's a 6'6" quarterback that has wheels and uses them. Like
He's a big boy, like he'll
yeah,
truck.
he's
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 not
like
one of them
6'6",
quarterbacks that
230.
slides.
He's
He
big.
never
He's a
slides.
big boy.
He never slides. He goes right through tackles.
Yeah. So number 2, Josh Allen.
And at number 1, I have Aaron Rodgers. I think if we go into next season, he probably won't be there just because I think the Packers are going to have a little bit of a down year. But if we're talking about quarterbacks going into the next season, he's back to back MVP for a reason. He's been amazing the last 2 years and I guess his whole career. So I got him at 1.
Yeah, I think I just sort of got to leave Patrick Mahomes at it because he had arguably an MVP year last year and nobody really talked about it. And he just sort of has kept doing this. Like it's sort of became the normal for him to throw for a lot of yards. The only thing last year that I wanted to get down for this year is he threw a bit more interceptions than we usually would see him throw. But the fact that he's doing like just as well as his MVP season and people are just sort of this is becoming a normal for him, it kind of blows me away. And that's mainly the reason why I kept him at 1.
No, I can't disagree with that. He's kind of gotten like the LeBron James treatment. Like if we're talking about MVP, like LeBron's numbers, you could give it to him every year. And I think it's
He
sort of the
averaged
same with
30
Patrick
this year and they
Mahomes.
put him on NBA third team. We didn't even talk about that, but
That's
he averaged
crazy.
30.
And Embiid wasn't on the first team.
It's because him and Jokic are both listed as center. I think it should be
Isn't
positionless.
Oh, it should be. He should be the 4 or whatever. Like or
Yeah, yeah.
Jokic. Like anyways, if we're talking about that, like LeBron James puts up insane seasons every year, and it just doesn't get given to him because it's like we've already seen him get enough MVPs and
It's just
love
like a
and stuff
normal
like that.
thing.
And Patty Mahomes is the same thing. Like he had his MVP season, and he does the same, if not better, every year. And he's just like Noah said, it kind of goes under the radar just because it's kind of what you expect from him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So that's wrapping up the top 10 quarterbacks. Me and Brandon were very similar for both our power rankings and quarterbacks, which is it's kind of good to see, but kind of bad to see for you guys because it's a bit boring. But suck
Who
it up.
didn't You didn't have Dak? Okay,
I didn't have Dak. You didn't have Russell.
okay, that's all. That's the only difference.
That's the only difference we had. So I did make a trivia. I have 7 questions. We haven't had trivia 2v2 in a bit because it's sort of been me and Brandon for these last couple weeks. But what I'm going to sort of do the same thing that Brandon did last week and to see how he can do. It is all NFL based. Um, so good luck. Number one,
I'm actually very nervous.
other than the Jaguars these past 2 years, how many other times has a team got consecutive first overall picks being back in a back-to-back year? And a bonus if you can get the team. Z. Team or team Z.
Dang, so if there's a bonus, it has to have happened before. I was gonna say 0, but um, I'm gonna say once, and it was the Cleveland Browns.
You would be 2 for 2 right now. Attaboy.
Really?
2016, 2017.
That's honestly the 2
They
years I was
took
thinking.
they
I was
took
like,
Baker and Miles Garrett.
because they went 0 for the 1 year, right?
They went 0 for and then they went 1 for.
That's a
They
tough
got
2
better
years.
by 1 win that year. Number
Uh,
2, this is one of the questions you might struggle on. What Hall of Fame Steelers running back has the nickname the Bus?
the bus. Oh God.
And to make sure these questions weren't hard, I asked them all to my dad before.
Did you know this
He
one?
got he got everyone except for the one you just got right. He got everyone other than this one, other than the first one.
I don't know. I don't even got a name for you.
Does Jerome Bettis ring a bell?
No, you probably
Really?
should.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if you would get that. I don't even know if any of it, if Max or Braden would get it. Um, number
I'm
3.
guessing it was just a tank.
Oh, he was like a 250-pound running back. He just went through everybody, man. He was
That's
just like
amazing.
after this thing, just go up on YouTube and look at his highlights. He just runs over
I'm
people,
gonna do it
man.
right now. What's his name?
Jerome Bettis.
I just want to see an. You can keep going, but I just want to see a picture of him. Holy jeez.
Yep. The nickname
He's
suits him, eh?
he's
That's
a
a running
big
back. He's a running back.
holy gee. I wouldn't have stepped in front of him.
No, I wouldn't either. That's why he's called the Bus.
How did they get a jersey to fit that? Wow.
Um, Number 3. What is the oldest franchise in the NFL to stay in one location? And bonus for what year they began.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna say actually the Green Bay Packers. Um 1924.
It is the Green Bay Packers in 1919.
Oh, I was
You were
close.
within 5 years. That's pretty good. Oh, that's
That's
pretty
pretty good.
good.
Yeah, not bad.
Um, you might also not get this one. What NFL legend has the nickname Primetime?
Oh, I should know this one. I feel like this could be totally wrong. Does he like broadcast some games
Um,
or talk about some games? I feel like I've heard that nickname on while I've been watching a football game. I won't be able to come up with a name. I'm not sure.
yeah, he can be seen on a variety of NFL networks throughout the season.
See, I've definitely watched a football game and they say welcome
He
Mr.
goes
Prime
on
Time.
game day prime. Of course, he goes on game day prime time.
Yeah. I should get a half a point for that.
Former Falcon.
I'm so bad at.
He played for a couple other teams. I'll get you these teams.
No, don't even worry about it. Just give me his name.
Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah, I should have got that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Number 5. What NFL wide receiver changed his last name to represent his jersey number?
Holy jeez! And this is current.
No, not current, but he retired a couple years ago. You will know the name.
Changed his last name.
He was. Do you want me? Did I tell you the position? Yeah,
Wide receiver.
wide receiver, and the
Yeah.
team that he played for was the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is so bad of me. I don't know.
Chad Johnson to Chad Ochocinco.
Oh, that makes a whole Otto Cinco. That's funny. Was he number?
85.
Yeah.
Number 6. What NFL team drafted Brett Favre?
This is a good question. This is a very good question. You're tricking me. What team drafted Brett Favre? The Indianapolis Colts.
It is, and it pains me to say this, the Atlanta Falcons.
Really?
Yep. He threw.
So what happened there? Was there a
He threw
trade?
4 picks in the very first game. He threw 4 passes. 2 of them were picks, and they benched him and traded him after that season to Green Bay.
That's hilarious.
And he turned into a Hall of Fame quarterback. Go figure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And finally, number 7. What wide receiver holds the record for single season touchdown receptions with 23?
That's a good question.
See, I made a really good trivia, and you're the only one that showed up.
You did make a good trivia. It's challenging. I like it. Is this guy current?
No.
I didn't. Yeah. Damn.
I thought of this question. I thought it might be a current player, but then when I searched it up, it wasn't. He is a Hall of Famer, though.
Yeah.
What?
He's got to be.
Oh, I thought you said something else, but you cut out for a minute. That's why I didn't hear you.
My Wi-Fi, a side note, has been so bad. I'm between 2 people.
Who would that
I'm
be?
just trying to think of like good, like former like wide receivers, and the 2 names that pop up are Randy Moss and Jerry Rice.
Those are 2 definite good receivers, that's for sure.
Yeah, so like those are my. I'm as you can tell in this quiz, I'm really bad with history. So those are kind of the 2 history wide receivers that are coming to mind. I know Jerry Rice played for San Fran, so I don't like him. I'm gonna go Randy Moss.
That would be correct.
Let's go.
Do you know what team he did it with?
I don't know. Did he play for the Vikings his whole career?
He did not. Do you know the other team he played for?
No. I just know the Vikings. Was it the other team?
Yeah.
I have no idea what the other team is.
He got it in 2008 with the New England Patriots.
Oh, I did know he teamed up
He
with
also played for the Oakland Raiders, Tennessee Titans, and San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, he played for San Fran as well? God damn, I wouldn't have picked him if I knew that.
Yep, it was Randy.
I didn't know he played for that many teams, but
Yeah,
now
he
that
got
you
it with
say it,
he got it with Tom Brady.
now that you say that, I actually do know that.
Yep.
Just them 2 teams, Minnesota and Patriots.
Yeah. So
But hey,
that'll wrap this up. You did better than I thought. The nickname ones were the ones I thought were gonna stump you, and they did.
Yeah, history's bad.
Yep. Well, that'll wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. Next weekend we will have an interview. I didn't talk to Brandon about this, but we will be having someone on for an interview next week. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow our Instagram so you get sneak peek of who that might be. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
See ya.